Good morning guys, finally I can announce to you that the PC that I'm running the channel from is going to be getting the upgrade that I planned back last year. Because of the world situation, because of there being a CPU shortage, GPU shortages, I've been waiting and waiting and waiting. I pre-ordered the Ryzen 9 5900X on release day back on the 5th of November last year, but you guys aren't really going to care about that. I've been waiting just to get the Easter holiday over, and today I'm going to start and finish, hopefully, the upgrade. So the channel's been running from my Ryzen 7 1700X. It's been overclocked 3.9 gigahertz on all cores, but this is now a 4-year-old CPU and has been really surpassed. The IPC upgain and uplifting single core performance on this processor will absolutely blow this system out of the water. So the Ryzen 9 5900X should release a hell of a lot of FPS, I'm hoping, from the Nvidia RTX 2080 Ti. In the upgrade, I plan to upgrade the GPU, but as they are like a unicorn poop at the moment, maybe we'll have to wait and see if we can get an RTX 3080 Ti. I've even considered just hanging on to and running the 2080 Ti and maybe looking at a 4000 series, but running the HP Reverb G2 and VR sim racing titles, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, to be honest, the performance upgrade and jump from the GPU would really go along with the new CPU. So as you may have seen in my previous video, I am moving away from Asus and going to Gigabyte. I picked the x570 Aorus Elite simply because of the price. I got this in Black Friday. I think it came out to about £170. Asus do an offering, but you're talking big money on x570. So the eagle-eyed viewers out there would have spotted two things. Yes, there is a Samsung 980 Pro, it's a 500GB NVMe SSD, and the reason I went that is PCIe Gen 4, which will go hand in hand with the x570 motherboard. I hadn't planned to make a PCIe Gen 4 upgrade, but because I've had to wait for so long for this CPU, my kids stole the drive I'd already ordered for this build. The other thing that you may have spotted out there, that I am now running a Kraken Z63, and that is already in this machine. I haven't actually brought that to the channel because I wanted to do that in the reveal of my 5900X upgrade / build. Anyway, what I'm going to do, because this is the Corsair Obsidian 450D case is quite dark and the motherboards are dark, I'm going to start the build with the x570 motherboard on the table. We'll then remove the older motherboard and we'll get this transposed and set up. So when we're going to upgrade our PC, the first thing we're going to start with is the motherboard. And as I said earlier, this is the Gigabyte x570 Aorus Elite. Now, to be honest, it's not a premium motherboard as the Corsair 6 Hero that I'm replacing. The Asus X370 board has got a lot more options on it. BIOS reset buttons, CMOS reset buttons. It's got a start button on the motherboard. It's got a reset boot override button. There's a lot more options for overclocking on that board than there is on the Gigabyte board. Just a very quickly, not an unboxing. In the box we get an Aorus Elite badge. I do like that, that's quite cool. We get an NVMe standoff, so we can change the positions for the size of the NVMe drive, NVMe screw. I'm pleased you got one of these. This is, they're calling it a Gigabyte G connector, but all your inputs, your hard drive, your reset lights, your power buttons, this just makes it easier to put them in and then just plop them into the motherboard. I like the idea of them. 4 SATA cables, so well stocked. And then we have the actual motherboard itself. You would have saw that in my last video, so I'm just going to pop that on the table. So what else do we get in the box? We just get some gumph, quick start guide, manual, always RTFM, give you a good idea of what's on your board and where to plug things. And as for driver's discs, well, you might as well use it as a coaster. If you're ever setting up a new machine, always get your drivers off the web. They're out of date and are as good as a chocolate fireguard. So we'll pop that into there. I'm just going to get the box out of the way. So what we want to do, get the motherboard and take it out of the anti-static bag. And I'm going to pop the anti-static bag on the table just so that we can work from it. I'll pop that down. Alright. While we're here, I'm just going to pull the plasticky bits off that. So, if the camera wants to come in and have a quick look out at the I/O shield, you can see that on this motherboard it really is quite basic, but I went for this board, the Aorus Elite, because it gives me the connection options that I'm going to need. I've got enough high-speed USB 3 ports. The HDMI on the board I'm not going to use. I've got the SPDIF connector, and I've got enough USBs to cover me. Cheaper motherboards would have less inputs, but that's all that I wanted. So I'm going to pop the motherboard down. I think the first thing we're going to do, we'll put in the CPU. So I'll just open this up. I was waiting for so long for this, guys. And it does make you smile because the 5900X, the higher end tier CPUs, don't come with a cooler. It's just basically an empty box. Apart from your CPU at the side. Now, you do get a nice little Ryzen 9 sticker. I'm not actually going to put that on, but it's nice to get that. So having the boards side by side, you can definitely see that the Aorus Elite is not such a premium motherboard as the Corsair Hero 6. Definitely a lot more going on this board, it's a lot busier. definitely less components and things on here. But while I'm going side by side, I just want to quickly mention the fact I've never taken the plastic off that. That's quite funny. I never realised I'd never done that. But on the Gigabyte board, I just want to bring to your attention this flappy bit. And I did think, I don't know if I can get my nail under it. I did think do I peel that off? But if you do, it's pulling all this part off. So that flappy bit's meant to be on there. It's quite weird, really. But I nearly went to peel that off. Right, what I'm going to do, the reason side by side, I've got to get these standoffs off now, so I can transfer them to the new board. All I've got to do is transfer it from here over to this motherboard. Now this is the standoff for the NZXT Kraken Z63, and it simply just screws onto the original fitting for the backplate. Now I only ever do those finger tight. You could get a pair of pliers, needle-nose pliers, and pinch them up, but there really is no need. And once I've done this, the back plate will not fall off. So now that I've prepared everything I can, I'm going to pop the motherboard in, which sometimes is a bit easier said than done. ATX standoffs should all be in the same place. So I'm just going to drop this in here and then try and offer it up. That looks alright to me. Let you guys know where we've got to. So we've just done a bit of a montage there. The motherboard's in, fans reconnected there, GPU's in, everything at the moment is connected up. Apart from the AIO, still got to clean up all the thermal compound off there, get it ready to reseat there. And I've got one fan header, if you can see that there, that I'm going to have to redirect. I've got two spare on the top of the motherboard, but I don't think there is any fan headers down the bottom here. So I'm going to have to take the back panel off, reroute that wire, get it to come out the top, and I'll plug it into the, instead of the CPU fan header, the other optional. The AIO water cooling one is just by the 12 volt power connector. I've got to get that back into the IO. I've also got to plug that back in, but I'm going to route that around the memory and the GPU like I did before. So guys, we're nearly at the point of getting this fired up, seeing if it will boot with this CPU in. If it does, happy days. I'll update the BIOS a little bit later, but the first thing I'm going to do, get Windows 10 reinstalled on this, because I'm setting this up as a brand new install. I'll come to the reasons for that. That'll probably be in the next video for the Windows setup. But I'm just going to finish the configurations off. We'll get that sorted out, and then we'll see if we do get a post. Will it boot? First run. nothing. And to be honest, I thought this may happen. I think we're going to have to flash the BIOS. And because we haven't got a CPU that we can put into it, we can use another method. Now the reason I'm here, I'm just doing this outro. The video didn't have an ending there. When I filmed it as one continuous sequence. But what I've decided to do is to make a separate video on how I overcome the issue of the machine not booting, as I didn't have any other CPUs to slot into the motherboard, and you don't need to do that anyway. So this is just an ending to the video that I've tacked on. If you've enjoyed this so far, please look out for the next video that will be coming shortly to the channel. If you're unsubscribed, please subscribe. Trying to hit that 1,000 subs this year. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon in the next video. Peace out.